Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. It is officially Monday, October 13th, and Donald Trump is still, by far, not even close, the best president in American history. What this guy has done, not just domestically, but also abroad, is something a lot of people only wish they're able to do. Donald Trump knew it wasn't just about wishing. It was about doing. And this guy is the peacemaker president, but he's also the do-maker president. Anywho, it's good to see all of you. Hopefully you had a lovely weekend. A lot of news to cover. A lot of things are happening globally. A lot of possible wars might break out once again between Pakistan and, believe it or not, the Taliban. You might be thinking, Brad, the Taliban? Is that the same Taliban that the United States has been giving $80 million every 2 weeks to? Yes, it's the same Taliban. Brad, is it the same Taliban that Joe Biden left billions of dollars of military-grade equipment to? Yes, it is that Taliban, that very same one. And now Pakistan and the Taliban are going at one another. And we could, right after solving this war between Hamas and Israel, lead into another war between the Pakistanis and the Talibanis. So we will make sure we dive a little bit into that, because that news has been kind of overshadowed, and maybe rightfully so, with what Donald Trump is doing, because Donald Trump is presently in Israel right now to see the handover of the remaining 20 hostages. And we'll have video clips for you as well on that one, and kind of see where else everything takes us here. Like I mentioned, if you're enjoying the show in Israel, and you're a frequent viewer, listener, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you're not. And if you are, well, of course, hit that like button. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Well, here we go. Dime a dozen, whatever the hell that means. No idea. Just trying to fill some dead air here. All righty, let's jump right into it. Here we go, folks. Buckle up. Put your seatbelt on. We ain't moving until everybody's strapped in. Let's do it, baby. Trump's war in Gaza is over. Now, it's not really his war. It's not Trump's war, but you understand what I mean. It's been centuries, and I think people are tired of it, said President Trump. Well, I mean, the whole world's tired of it, right? I mean, it's let's be fair. There's stereotypes for a reason. And that's kind of one of those stereotypes where it's like, can you guys just get your crap together over there? And look, and they would be right to say it about us a little bit here. Can we get our crap together over here? That'd be nice too. But look, hey, the sane people, the Democrats and Republicans that are the normies, we're the ones that do have our stuff together. Everybody else, meaning the progressive left, that's kind of the main problem in this country, they can't get it together. So President Donald Trump said that the war between Israel and the terror group Hamas is over on Sunday. The president made the declaration while flying to Israel aboard Air Force One. Trump is expected to land in Israel on Monday. He has landed. I have video of it in one moment. And greet families of hostages, as well as hostages just released by Hamas, as part of the first phase in the Trump-led peace deal. So here's President Trump arriving like a boss. I put my headphones on for this. Here we go. You know, security has to be so tight right now. I don't like when he goes abroad. I don't think these guys like that he just touched Trump. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't, because you never know. I mean, this guy could rub some sort of substance on him. I doubt that's what happened, right? Obviously. But here's the sad thing. I mean, I take this with a grain of salt. I haven't confirmed this is true, but allegedly no female hostages are still alive. Think about that for a moment. If that is true, that is absolutely horrific. The whole thing is horrific. Absolutely, just the whole thing, from the war itself to people, civilians being deleted because there's a group of people that are, their brains aren't working correctly. And that is very, very sad if that is true. We have other updates regarding this, so let's get to more stuff. As I mentioned, Trump lands in Israel as Hamas frees all 20 surviving hostages. So he just arrived not too long ago. Amid the release of the 20 remaining hostages. Look at how long they've been in just, some of these guys and gals were tortured for 738 days. Isn't that crazy? Completing the first phase of a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal. In exchange, Israel, I mean, this is such like a crazy exchange number. Israel released nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and received the bodies of 28 deceased hostages, including women and children, while allowing humanitarian aid in the Gaza. Every one hostage, they get 100 prisoners. Isn't that nuts? Wow. So this is what's going around Jerusalem right now. I mean, there's people chanting Trump, the peacemaker president. You guys, they're holding up these banners that you could see from freaking space. Not literally space, but from the airs. Meaning, so when he was flying Air Force One, he's able to see these banners that they're putting up. They're putting it on the oceans. I mean, everybody's chanting it. Even the Palestinians were out there chanting it. And for some reason, again, it's so odd that everybody sees it other than the progressive left here in the United States and some Democrats. Trump derangement syndrome is a wild mental illness. And I don't think they can overcome it. I don't think they ever will, man. And we'll never probably see something in our lifetime. So God bless President Trump for that. And let me see if I could pull up some other clips for you in real time regarding this piece. Matter of fact, let me get you this really quickly, the updates itself, minute by minute. So here's the live updates. And it looks like there is live updates. Well, that's messed up. We'll see if we can get something else for you folks. I apologize for that. All right. Trump writes message to Israelis after all living hostages are released. Now, I'm trying to figure out if they have, in fact, been released or not. And you got to love we're getting a freaking advertisement here, but live coverage. Trump's heading to Egypt after speaking alongside Netanyahu in Israel. So I apologize for the back and forth here. Trump says heralds a golden age of the Middle East. In address to Israeli, was that Knesset, hours after hostages come home. There was a gentleman that rose up and Secret Service got a hold of him. I'll show you a video of that in one moment. President Donald Trump thanked Israeli lawmakers for their enthusiastic welcome on Monday as the nation celebrated the release of all 20 living hostages from captivity after 2 harrowing years in darkness and captivity. I mean, I remember that image of that one guy in the tunnel, and he's the one that looked malnourished. I mean, that guy looks starved. Do you know which one I'm talking about? We covered it probably about, I always say like 2 or 3 months. It might have been longer than that. He's living in darkness in this tunnel. That dude looked messed up. Let me see if I could find that. And then the odd thing is that when we had the announcement of the ceasefire, the crazy thing is nobody in the video, and we commented on this last week, nobody in the video looked malnourished. Really hostage. Let me see if I can find that video for you all real quick. You'll know what this guy right here. This is what starvation looks like. That's what malnourishment looks like. That's what I was expecting based on everything we've been hearing in the propaganda news media, that people in Gaza were starving. But then when you see the video of people in Gaza, nobody looks like this. I'm not saying you're not going to be able to find one, but this is what these guys are looking like that are taken hostage. Unbelievable. Just terrible. So you have that. And let me see if I can find that clip for you real quick. Here's Donald Trump's quick remarks.
After 2 harrowing years in darkness and captivity, 20 courageous hostages are returning to the glorious embrace of their families, and it is glorious. 28 more precious loved ones are coming home at last to rest in this sacred soil for all of time. And after so many years of unceasing war and endless danger, today the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace, a land and a region that will live, God willing, in peace for all eternity.
I mean, that's what we're all hoping for, right? We will see, though, and I still think this person has one of the best tweets out there. Democrats trying to figure out how to make Trump out to be a fascist for creating a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Also, can I point out, they called Trump a Nazi, okay? They called me a Nazi. I actually just got a message yesterday on TikTok calling me a Nazi, where we want everlasting peace for the Jews and just every Arab nation out there, but we're Nazis. It's the craziest ass backwards thinking. There's no reason to even try to, basically try to make sense or meaning of it. There really isn't. I want to see if I could find that guy. Somebody posted it. I thought I retweeted it. I apologize for that, but I guess I cannot find it. There was a gentleman that stood up and the Secret Service got him. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah. See if we can find that clip for you all really quickly. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you hit that like button. Here we go. I got it for you. Let's find a better one. Yeah, right here. All right, I got a better. There's different angles. I want to make sure we get the good angle for the Patriots.
Respect him, and they somehow can relate to him. I've known him for many years, and I've seen it over and over again.
להוציא את חבר הכנסת עודה, להוציא אותו מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד, החוצה, החוצה.
Please expel this Knesset member. Please expel this Knesset member.
להוציא גם את חבר הכנסת כסיף. להוציא את חבר הכנסת כסיף מהאולם.
Expel Knesset member Kasif out of the hall. Please expel him immediately.
Jeez, dude. What the hell? Wow.
Sorry for that, Mr. President.
Isn't that nuts? Now, look, I don't know if he was just yelling, but nowadays, I don't know about you all, I'm on edge, dude. I mean, obviously, we were all together when Donald Trump got shot the first time, and then we were together when Donald Trump was almost shot a second time with the guy on the golf course, and then obviously the Charlie Kirk assassination. We'll get to the Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson had somebody going after him and his family. Thank God for Donald Trump's administration and the 3-letter agencies for apprehending that guy. So we'll get Benny Johnson talking about that a little bit later. I am so on edge where even them like this, I just don't think they roughed him up enough. And he didn't do anything, but the problem is I'm so on edge where I don't know what he's doing, but it looked like this guy walked up and just look at it. I'm going to try to go slow. It looked like he just smacked the crap out of his head, but I want to see. And, oh no, he smacked the paper. That's what he did. I thought he smacked the crap out of his head. I thought when he came up, because you know how everybody has yarmulkes on? Well, not everybody, but some of them. I thought he smacked the crap out of his head that his yarmulke went flying. That's what I thought happened. Oh, well. So it says here, Epic seen a heckler try to interrupt Trump's address only to be swiftly escorted. Then something incredible happened. The entire chamber erupted cheers for Trump. No, it's not just I think, again, what the media is going to try to do on this is they're not going to show you the chants, the people out in the streets, in the thousands chanting Trump, thank you, Trump. They're not going to show you the Palestinians saying thank you, Trump, all excited. No. They're going to try to just show that clip. Oh, look, they don't like it, blah, blah, blah. Some of them, they just can't get away from it. I mean, there is just, how do you spin something like this? That's the question. That's why I think that one guy had it great with the math problems going everywhere, them trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do. So let's see if we can get those clips for all of you where they're chanting Trump. So here's Ivanka, not just that long ago, but it's about 2 days ago over there talking to the people of Israel.
And wanted me to share, as he has with so many of you personally, that he sees you, he hears you, he stands with you, always, always.
There you go. The thank you, Trump. Yep, you can hear it loud and clear. By the way, that whole thing was going on relentlessly. And here's another one. CNN is stunned how pro-Trump Israelis are endless applause for President Trump.
And of course, endless applause for President Trump. Endless applause for President Trump.
And when I was there, I even saw people wearing Make America Great Again hats in that crowd over at Hostage Square.
And of course.
So it's so tough to hide as the media what Trump is doing as not being great. And I don't know why they just can't acknowledge what Trump is doing as being a great thing. They hate the guy so much and they don't want to give him credit at all that they have to pull stuff like that. And I don't get it whatsoever. I really don't. Let me know if you guys understand that at all. So Donald Trump is heading to Egypt, and I'm sure that has to do with something in regards to his Middle East trip. Might as well go ahead and make your rounds over there. And I mean, Egypt is right up there on the border. So I'm curious if Trump is going to be dealing with them in terms of trying to bring in humanitarian aid, maybe bringing in some Palestinians, which I've mentioned again, no Arab countries want to bring in a single Palestinian, which should raise everybody's eyebrows. That would be like us not wanting to bring in the let's like us not wanting to bring in people from the UK. It's just a little odd. I see the YouTube chat. Why? Did I miss a string? Bruce says, hey, good morning. Well, geez, Lee's. Okay. Wow. Okay, so Bruce comes in with the Hyundai. That is $100. That is a 00, my friend. Hey and good morning. No, hey and good morning to you. Appreciate the $100, Bruce. Jeez, Louise. I have two different chats, so I have two different tabs. The only reason I saw it because I have one tab open with everything. God bless you, man. Thank you, Bruce. Longtime follower of the Bald Brad Show, by the way. Appreciate you, man. I don't even know what to say about that. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money that's going to help go into paying for all the software. So thank you. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to all the members in the chat. God bless you. Brad's not reading the YouTube chat. I see the YouTube chats, my friend. Oh, I see everything. I see everything. Sometimes there's a little bit of delay for me, though. I have so many things on my screen if you guys only knew. Sometimes I'm like, who is that? Is that Bruce? Appreciate you, brother. God bless you. I don't even know what to say for $100. It's like all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. But moving on in the news, God bless you. You guys keep the lights on here. Literally, quite literally keep the lights on for the show. We have Donald Trump declares Senator Rubio will go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history of the United States. It is looking to be that way. It is really looking. Can we go to the chat again? Speaking of looking at it. If you had to vote between J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio today, who you voting for? We asked this last week. I want to see if things have changed, and it's nice to get into the chat a little bit. You all know who I'm going for. By the way, Bruce, everybody over at Rumble saying that's a very generous donation. They're giving you a shout out over at Rumble. Just a heads up. I am voting. I've already said this. If it was today, it's not even a close. It's not even close for me. It's Marco Rubio. when I say not even close, we're not even the same solar system or planet. It's going to sound bad. JD's kind of set up in a tough position because the vice president doesn't do anything. The vice president's main job is obviously a tiebreaker, but other than that, it's to take the president's message, deliver a bunch of speeches, handle some meetings here or there, but really it's to carry on the message and the activity that the president is doing. JD, as much as I love him, please don't understand, I'm not bashing the guy. He hasn't actually done anything. He's done interviews, and that's his job. He's done his job. But what Marco Rubio's doing, who do you think is negotiating all these peace deals with Donald Trump? Who's going from country to country, handling all the phone calls? There's a reason why it's Marco Rubio's name that's getting brought up. I hate to say it. That guy's the one that's doing it. Marco Rubio.
And I have a prediction that Marco will go down, I mean this, as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of the United States. I believe that.
Bro's just trying to stay awake right now. If Marco's not bald like Huckabee over here, in the next year or two, the guy's doing something right. He's drinking some sort of tea that I need to figure out what it is.
I believe it. And he and I, we really fought it out.
They did.
You remember, he was tough. He was nasty. Who the hell thought this was going to happen, Marco, right? And now I'm saying he's going to go down as the greatest. He will. He was always smart and sharp, and people respect him. And
I mean, Trump's not wrong. Really, I mean, if this lasts, it's always tough to say, with Hamas and terrorists, but you can't really trust the Israelis as much either. I mean, they'll just go bomb the crap out of you. They don't care. And look, I get their point of view. But if it doesn't stay as everlasting peace, then you know that the media is just going to attack Trump and all these other things. By the way, can I just ask the chat, where's all these pro-Palestinian protesters chanting in the streets, "Thank you, Trump"? Anybody wondering where those guys are at? Just want to throw it out there really quickly. All those people with the kippah, the scarf, and their faces all covered, and some of them are wearing the Hamas headbands. Where are they at? Because they were saying that Trump hates the Palestinians. Trump wanted to see Gaza wiped off the face. Where are all those people at storming the beaches of Gaza, all excited that Donald Trump just created peace over there for all of them? Again, the peacemaker president, the Jerusalem Post. Some of the Palestinians get it. It's funny that the people in Palestine, they get it, but the people here don't. Just crazy. Just crazy, crazy, crazy. So breaking, Senator John Fetterman is shocked that any Democrat would refuse to celebrate President Trump's freeing the hostages. Not old school. I would have agreed with him. Like back in the day, but yeah, man, that's crazy. They don't even stand up for kids with cancer. They voted, not a single Democrat voted in favor of getting men out of women's sports. And I'm talking about, sometimes it's so crazy nowadays when you say not a single one, you're like, okay, well, there had to be a few, right? Because people exaggerate the way that they talk just naturally. No. Not a single Democrat voted in favor of it.
I mean, how can we all celebrate this thing? I mean, you've had human beings held underground for over 2 years and tortured and beaten and starved, forced to dig their own graves and things. Now they can finally come back home. And now everyone should be celebrating these things. And clearly the Palestinians are, and people in Israel are too. And now there are people in our nation, some of those aren't really celebrating or even acknowledging a thing. And that.
Exactly what I was saying. Can I just point out something to the chat? And then we'll continue this. First, a couple things. This video clip is actually the Palestinians heading north. So remember that the Israelis pushed them out because they basically carpet bombed the whole place. Not really carpet bomb, but you understand what I mean. I should be careful with my words, especially now that we're growing. They didn't carpet bomb the place. It looks like they did. It was strategic strikes that now looks like a carpet bomb. But now they're going back north to their homes, and some of their homes are still standing, which they're excited about, and rightfully so. Now, what Fetterman is saying about the Democrats not wanting to praise Trump for the work that he's doing to create peace, and it goes into everything we've always said. By the way, we're the tinfoil hat people, right? We're the conspiracy theories where he said Trump could literally cure cancer and they wouldn't get behind the guy. I'm starting to really, really believe that one, because Trump is creating everlasting peace and they still can't get behind the guy. Okay, let's just go through it really quick. President Trump has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel, Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India, Pakistan, Serbia, Kosovo, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, and Israel and 8 freaking conflicts and wars this guy has settled. Now, I'm running out of fingers. GET phone home. If this Pakistan and Taliban conflict, which we'll get to in one moment, goes, and he solves that one, that's 9. And if he gets the war between Russia and Ukraine, that's 10. And he still doesn't get the Nobel? He still didn't get it? Really? It's crazy.
That's part of the truth there, too. It really was never about peace. It was more about an anti-Israel agenda.
That's what I was talking about. Look at that banner. And it's all over, by the way. Look, those are people. Those are people. It looks like a carpet. You know what I mean? It looks like somebody made a mini like room out of some styrofoam on the outside and just put some carpet down. That's people, man.
And now, why can't we all, whatever where you are politically, this is a huge development, and this terrible, awful war is going to come to an end. And now you can rebuild Gaza, and these families are now reunited. That's a big thing, and it's a strange time if you can't celebrate this.
Yeah, and I saw your tweet, congratulating President Trump on this incredible moment in time. It really is a head scratcher, as you see some people just refusing to acknowledge what an incredible moment this is after this 2 years. Look how happy they are.
I agree. It's like I even said that in that.
I know I keep positive, but that's what we're here for, right? The commentary, the fun. I'm getting goosebumps. They're waving the American flag in other countries, and you get these psycho lefties that can't even wave the American flag. You know what they do with our flag? They burn it here in their own country that you live in. People can you imagine if the media just portrayed Trump how he's supposed to be portrayed and how other countries look at him? They freaking love the guy. The military loves the guy. The Israelis love the guy. The Palestinians even love the guy. The freaking United Kingdom love the guy. Everybody, if you talk to people, I've been on trips in other countries, by the way, since Trump's been president. People love the guy. Don't be wrong, there's all those people that don't like him.
In my tweet, it's like, yeah, our party's different, but this is a big, huge win for peace in this world. And it's entirely appropriate to do that. And if you're not willing to acknowledge that, you're ironically pointing out the absurdity and making it more personal when we can't all celebrate this peace after this awful war after 2 years.
Yes.
Now, how is it that Fetterman, the guy we used to rip like no other, is probably the most sane Democrat out of all of them? So the guy that had head damage, I think he had a stroke or something like that, right? And I'm not beating him up. Please, I'm not talking crap on the guy. I mean, he's come a long way. The fact that he doesn't have to read from a teleprompter, seems like anymore, just to get questions going, I've never been more wrong in politics about a guy. Okay? He's the most sane guy out of everybody there. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So we have here, as of a few hours ago, for the first time in over 2 years, Hamas holds no living hostages in captivity. And it's being declared by CNN, believe it or not.
And welcome back to CNN's breaking news coverage, as we are covering a historic moment here in Israel, because for the first time in 2 years, over 2 years, 738 days, Hamas holds no living hostages in its captivity for the first time. And welcome back to CNN's
There you go. There you go. And shout out to one of our viewers for bringing this up. We have this right here. This is actually what I was referring to, the beach where they have Donald Trump's head right here. Thank you. And it's just all along the beach over there. Thank you. Shout out. I think it was Michelle, and shout out to Karen, our moderator, for doing a great job sending that over via email. There we go. Look at that, huh? Can we get that down here in California? See, California, this would be a pride flag. It's just funny how that's like, you just know that's Trump's head. You know what I mean? I love it. And it says, thank you. Isn't that nice? Isn't it nice to see people chanting thank you for once? And we used to talk about this all the time, where we'd give people billions with a B in humanitarian aid, dollars, equipment, whatever. Never a thank you. And that was the big contention with Zelensky when he came into the Oval Office, and JD called him out by saying, you don't even say thank you for everything we're providing you. I mean, these are people's money that are working hard, and you can't acknowledge it at all? Really? So at least we're getting a thank you from the Israelis and everybody else. So Donald Trump is now officially, as of 14 minutes ago, boarding Air Force One and doing his historic fist bump. I'll be honest, every time he stands out there, I'm like, bro, get inside, please. Stop with the fist bump, and just stop. I love the fist bump. Please understand that. I know how far people could take shots. I don't even want a possibility. Sir, get inside the plane. God, he's stressing me out. Like, we need you, Mr. President, okay? We can't be having you like, is anybody else stressing out every time, man? Maybe I'm just paranoid. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Freaking out. Finally, we get father reunites with his son, and it's a hug for the ages. So here's where the tears start flowing, folks. Everybody buckle up. You geared for this? I got goosebumps. The body's chiseled. It's freaking out. Here we go.
Bye, Mary.
Man, 700 and something days, huh?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. איזה חיים שלי, האור שלי.
He looks in good health, which is good.
נשמות שלי, שנתיים, יום יום. חיים שלי כפרון עליך. הלב שלי, חזור לי החיים. תודה לאנשים שהחזירו אותך חיים. תודה.
Wow. So see what let's just see what people are saying here. I'm crying even if I don't understand Hebrew. Yeah. I mean, please understand. I'm holding back tears myself. They must have been fed in the last few weeks. Yeah, some of it, it's weird. Quite a few hostages I've seen released look in good health. Now, that doesn't mean that they are. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But some of them have been extremely malnourished. And you never know. They could have been tortured at the beginning. The horrific things they've probably seen, I have no idea. And I'm sure all of that's going to come out. He said, here we go. My life, my love, over and over. And then 2 years. It's been 2 years. Man, whew. You don't have to speak Hebrew to be incredibly moved. I cannot imagine today will go down in history. So happy for all the families getting their loved ones back. Just the fact that Biden didn't see these lives as worthy as the other tragedy. Well, yeah. Geez, I have a son at the same age and I can feel it myself in a way. Yeah, isn't that amazing? You can feel. I mean, again, I still have goosebumps all over. I don't know if you could see that all. I mean, I got hairy arms like well, I was going to say Robin Williams, but you could feel like the power of it through the screen. And can you imagine feeling, because when you walk in places like a concert or a football game or a sports event, whatever it may be, you can feel the energy in the room. And sometimes there's tension. Sometimes you can tell when somebody's really pissed off, they're just giving off that energy. I mean, you could really feel it through the screen. This is what Israel has been fighting for this whole time. Not ethnic cleansing, not genocide, reunion. Cried for their emotional reunion, and also for those who will not have a reunion. That's terrible. I mean, remember, there's also 28 people that were deleted, and just god awful. It says, thank you, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, for representing the United States in a highly complex hostage return deal. Man. Now, we'll have to see over the length of time what happens here. My hope is that they can get it together. But here's another one. These are slowly coming out, as time goes on here. The mother of one of the hostages who was held by Hamas for 738 days finally reunites with her son. He looks a little bit skinnier. But he could just be one of those guys that's naturally skinny, but I don't know.
כל העולם חיים שלי אתה, בטח, החזירו לי אותו אחרי 4 ימים, אתה לא מבין טונטון, אתה לא מבין, חיים שלי מה? כפרה עליך אני, כפרה עליך אני, זה החיים שלי, אתה רוצה לשתות, כפרה עליך, בוא כפרה עליך, בוא כפרה עליך, בוא חיים שלי, אתה בוא כפרה עליך, מה זה? לא כפרה, לא צריכה.
Ooh. Sheesh. So great work by Donald Trump and just the whole team over there. Absolutely amazing. Last clip here before we move on, but the Israeli Defense Force has now received the 7 hostages Hamas kidnapped over 2 years. So this is just another clip, but then we'll move on to some other news of the day.
Right now, I'm just getting a message. We are being told that the hostages, the 7 living hostages who have been released, are now in the hands of the IDF. They have been handed over to the Israeli Defense Forces, and now it'll just be a matter of minutes when they are then taken to that military base where they will see their families for the first time. They've had some telephone contact. We're told that the hostages, all 7 of them, are able to walk on their own. That's a good sign because many of them, John, as we've spoken, have been held underground in those tunnels in the dark, starved of food for long periods of time. And so the fact that they're walking is a good sign at this.
That's a good point. Actually being able to walk. Yep. I mean, for the most part, the ones that we've seen look pretty good. Democrat Senator Mark Kelly says President Trump deserves credit for Gaza peace deal. Wow. So they're coming out now. All of a sudden, huh? Yeah, now that it's a done deal, now that we got everybody back. Oh, yeah, I guess we can get... It's not so bad. Oh.
I want to start with the Middle East, the remaining hostages. We could see them coming back, hopefully, within the next 24 hours to Israel.
They have all come back, by the way. This is an old clip.
Aid trucks are already headed into Gaza. How much credit does President Trump deserve for this deal?
I think he should get a lot of credit. I mean, this was his deal. He worked this out. He sent Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, over to negotiate this, and it's so far has gone well. Hopefully, the hostages get released here. Might not be within 24 hours, but certainly, I think by Monday, and that's progress.
I want to start.
Michelle brings up a great point. What will Greta Thunberg do now? I don't know. Stand on top of a windmill and say, global warming, screw you. Right? I don't know. Maybe be out there with the Navajos asking for rainfall to come down, doing the rain dance. Hell, I don't know. She's going to be lost, as are a lot of other people. All righty. Well, getting into some other news here, folks. If you're enjoying what you're seeing and hearing, make sure you hit that like button. Always appreciate hanging out with you guys. We have the day off work today, so we might go a little bit longer. We will see. But again, shout out to Trump for making peace over there between Israel and Hamas. We'll see how long it lasts. But the good news, the big thing here is all the hostages are returned. That's the great news. Now, you never know what Israel's going to do here. Israel could be like, cool, buckle up, we're going in. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. There will be no boots on the ground in Israel, Gaza. This comes from J.D. Vance. This is an update here. Vance said that there will be no American boots on the ground in Israel, though troops in the region will monitor the ceasefire agreement between Israel and the terror group Hamas. Now, this seems to be a little bit different than what we heard. I was told there were going to be 200 troops sent there. So Vance appeared on NBC Meet the Press on Sunday and clarified the role of U.S. service members in Israel after a report last week said, and we covered it, 200 U.S. soldiers would be stationed in Israel. Vance said that the U.S. Central Command already has people in the region of the world to help with oversight. Okay, so nice that we're getting some clarity here. We're not planning to put boots on the ground. What we already have is a U.S. Central Command. We already have people in that region of the world, said Vance. They're going to monitor the terms of the ceasefire. They're going to monitor, ensure the humanitarian aid is flowing. The vice president specified that Trump administration will not put boots on the ground in Gaza or Israel, but Central Command troops that are already there are going to monitor this peace proposal, which is kind of interesting because I'm pretty sure we already have troops in Israel. We kind of always have things going on in Israel.
We're not planning to put boots on the ground. What we already have is a U.S. Central Command. We already have people in that region of the world. They're going to monitor the terms of the ceasefire. They're going to monitor, ensure the humanitarian aid is flowing. They actually confirmed yesterday that Israel pulled back to the agreed upon lines, which of course is the first condition. The second condition, or the second term, is for the hostages to be released. So we have people in that region of the world who are going to monitor parts of this peace proposal, but the president is not planning to put boots on the ground in Israel.
What about Gaza? Will U.S. troops ever be sent into Gaza? Just yes or no?
That's what I mean, Kristen. He is not planning to put boots on the ground in Gaza or Israel.
Okay.
We're going to have Central Command.
Alrighty. So there is a clip that's circulating right now about a reporter being confronted, and we'll kind of check this out together. It says here, ABC anti-Israeli or as anti-Israel bias finally confronted at Hostage Square Live. Says, what happened when I confronted ABC's top propagandist, Matthew Doran, the man who's been lying to Australians about Israel and Hamas for the past 2 years. Well, hey, look, we're going to check this out, folks. It's Columbus Day. Isn't today Columbus Day? Someday. I think it's Columbus Day. We got time.
Concern, please write a formal complaint to the ABC. I am not talking to you any further.
Do you understand why people want to defund the ABC? Why should my taxpayer dollars go to you?
You are just trying to catch me out here. You are trying to make a scene. I am trying to do actual journalism. So please.
Actual journalism? Is that what it's called when you lie? Avi Yemini in Hostage Square, Tel Aviv, for thetruthaboutthewar.com, where thousands have gathered as the hostages are being released. But what I've spotted in the corner of the crowd here is someone that hasn't told the truth about any of the war from the beginning, and I believe is personally responsible for a lot of the hatred and division in Australia. So I'm going to go ask him about his reporting. You're going to finally call Hamas terrorists today? You're going to finally report Hamas as terrorists? Do you hold your head in shame for the way that you reported in the last 2 years? Much of the anti-Semitic hate in Australia has to do solely on your reporting. How does it feel? You're here on this historic day thanks to Trump.
Make sure you're balanced. ABC's been an absolute joke. Absolute joke.
How do you feel being here when...
Ridiculous. Thank you, Trump. Yeah, see you later.
How do you feel saying that?
It's a joke. As a taxpayer, like investing in, like we invest in these guys. They come here, they create a complete mockery of they just divide everyone. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Thank God he's going. No one wants him here. It's a joke.
Why are you running? Are you embarrassed about your reporting now 2 years later? Are you embarrassed about the way you've covered this conflict?
Stand by my reporting. Please, I'm trying to do my job here.
Is Hamas a terrorist organisation?
Yes, it is a prescribed terrorist organisation under Australian law. Thank you. And I have said that in my reporting.
And do you think that...
I'm trying to do my job here, sir. Please, can you allow me to do
Do you take any responsibility for the way that this conversation has been had in Australia over the last 2 years?
I stand by my reporting. Can you please let me do my job? Can you please
Your
let me
job
do my
is
job?
detrimental to
Can you
Australia.
Please let me do my job. I'm not speaking to you any further, sorry.
You don't have to. All good. There you go. The ABC. Please leave me alone. He's the victim here. After 2 years of essentially demonizing Israel, he's here at Hostage Square on the historic day that Trump locked in. Ironically, demonizes Trump, demonizes Trump.
אתה מדבר עברית?
אני מבין עברית,
לא,
כן.
אתה לא מדבר עברית, ואני אחראי כאן, ואתה מפריע לנו...
אכפת לי, אתה יודע מי זה? אתה יודע מה הוא עושה? אתה יודע מה הוא עושה ליהודים באוסטרליה? אתה מבין את זה? בגללו יש אנטיסמיטיזם באוסטרליה. זה שאתה עוזר לו, זה אתה. My Hebrew is a bit broken there, but I don't think even the people working around him...
Crikey, my Hebrew's a little broken. It's been a while, but crikey.
Understand what he is responsible. It's he's been the main reporter here in Israel that has demonized Israel for 2 years straight. And now on this historic day, he's here at Hostage Square pretending that he somehow is being balanced. The funny thing is he's also demonized Donald Trump. The man...
Doesn't surprise me. So it goes on for a while. Shout out to that guy. No idea if it's true or not. That's up to the viewers to decide. I'm not there to tell you what's true and what isn't. That's your job. And if anybody tries to tell you otherwise, well, that's a little odd to me. A little bit odd. We have breaking news here. Interesting. Wow. Okay, here we go. Officials say it was non-malicious blast, likely from construction or monorail safety tests. Well, this is kind of crazy because Trump is heading there now. Multiple reports of an explosion at or near a military base in Cairo, Egypt, ahead of President Trump's peace summit. That don't look like we know what that looks like, don't we? The mushroom cloud. That looks like a strike. So I guess that is something saying non-malicious blast. I don't know. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm on edge here with Donald Trump being abroad, bro. Just go home. We can Zoom all this stuff from the White House. You know what I mean? It's safe. It's nice. It's clean. It's not dirty. We can keep it there. Please, Mr. President, just come home already. We don't need you over there, buddy. They don't need you over there. We don't need you over there. We'll figure it out. Well, we got more news here for all of you, and all my tabs are freaking everywhere. Here we go. Got it. Mike Johnson and others are unloading on Schumer, says Senate Dems in inflicting pain for his own selfish reasons. So Mike Johnson unloaded on Senator Minority Leader Chuck Schumer during a Sunday morning interview, saying that the New York senator was being intentionally dishonest about which party was driving the ongoing government shutdown. And a lot of Americans believe that it's the Schumer shutdown. Here he is.
Schumer is incapable of telling the truth right now. I mean, he's been in Congress for 44 years, Shannon. I mean, almost half a century. He knows this is basic civics. Every 8th grade civics student can point out the fallacy in what he just said. It requires 60 votes in the Senate to get this through. We only have 53 Republicans. We've got to have a handful of Democrats in the Senate who apply common sense and agree to reopen the government so that we can continue all these discussions. As you pointed out to Hakeem Jeffries, this is a clean continuing resolution. What that means for folks back home is it's exactly the same levels of spending. By the way, it's Biden-era policies and spending, which we loathe. But we're trying to get through the appropriations process to change that and fix it for the country, and they ran out of time because the end of the fiscal year, September 30th, we just need 7 more weeks to finish it. And right now they're eating up the clock. They're doing this for political cover. Chuck Schumer, when he voted for the exact same measure back in March, took a lot of heat from the left of his party, and he doesn't want to sustain that any longer. So he's doing this and inflicting pain for his own selfish reasons.
Look, Mike's not always right, but on this one he is. It's basically Joe Biden's proposal. And they're like, hey, let's just go ahead and pass this thing, get it done. Now, the one part where he is wrong, when he said, oh, most 8th graders know that it takes 60 votes. No, they don't. No, they don't. They barely know how to read nowadays. They barely know how to do arithmetic math. You want to know how I know this? I've taught 8th grade. I've taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade before. No, they don't, Mike. You have to understand this, sir. They don't know a lot of things. At 8th grade, they're about to go into freshman year of high school. They legitimately don't know how to multiply numbers. Like, they don't even know what 2 times 2, 6 times 6, 12 times 12. They don't know basic math. They need a calculator for all this stuff. And I'm not even kidding. Nowadays, even when you give them a calculator, they still don't know how to do it. And please understand, it's not 1, it's not 2, 5, or 10. There's a lot of them. So when we grew up, sure, maybe we knew that. But sorry, Mike. And I think that's the big problem as well, is that they just don't, Americans don't know what's going, they don't know how government works, because as mentioned here, I think it's, who is it there? Brian says it. I don't think 8th grade civic students know anything. Yes. But also, we haven't taught civics in school in like probably a decade, maybe longer than that. And I would imagine a lot of young adults don't know this, nor Americans. They forget. You're living out your normal life. So the messaging, quite frankly, needs to be a lot better, I think, on the Trump administration. And it's working, because obviously a lot of people think it's the Democrats' problem that they've created. But in terms of the 60 vote, I think a lot of people just don't know that. Well, we have J.D. Vance here torches Margaret Brennan over Schumer shutdown narrative. This is not a negotiation. So I always get excited when there's any pushback to Margaret with her stupid faces. Do you remember, that face where she's like, huh? And she always pushes back. Like, she's that smart ass leftist. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's hard to describe, and I need to do a better job of it. The way these leftists act, like smuggy, just passive aggressive at times. Like, you're stupid. Oh, you don't know that? Oh no, they are vetted. Yeah, they're not here legally. Those types of faces. JD, here's Margaret Brennan. Here's JD.
I pressed Leader Schumer on this program just last Sunday about reopening the government. He said it's going to take getting everyone in the same room with the president of the United States. Only the 5 people, including the president, he said, can solve it. Why doesn't the president insist that lawmakers come back to Washington, sit with him, and talk this through?
Well, as Chuck Schumer said, it's not all lawmakers. It's the Senate leadership that really is driving this shutdown. The House has already passed a bill to reopen the government. It's the Senate. And again, it's a far left sort of contingent of Senate Democrats. But the president says he's a deal maker. Keeping the government shut down.
Why doesn't he force a deal here? Why doesn't he tell Republicans, like the Speaker, get your lawmakers back here, come into my office, let's hammer this thing out?
Margaret, it's a totally fair question, and the answer is because this isn't a deal making, this isn't a negotiation, this is hostage taking. The Chuck Schumer has not said to us, this is what we need. He said that unless you give us what we need, we're going to shut down the government. That is a totally different thing. If Chuck Schumer wants to come into the Oval Office or come to my house, he is welcome to talk about how to fix health care policy for Americans. Of course, we want to lower insurance premiums. We want to make sure that the skyrocketing health care costs of the Biden administration start to level off and hopefully come down. That's one conversation. But you don't come into the Oval Office and say, unless you, the President of the United States, give us everything that I want, I'm going to shut down the government. I'm going to deny low-income women and children their food benefits. I'm not going to pay the troops. That is what Chuck Schumer has put us in the situation of doing. We don't negotiate with a person who has taken the entire federal government hostage over a health care policy dispute. And I think that basic principle, you saw Barack Obama say this to Ted Cruz and a number of Republicans. We want to talk about health care policy, but we're not going to shut down the government over this. That's all that Donald Trump is now saying to Chuck Schumer and the far left Democrats. We are not going to negotiate over opening the government. We'll negotiate on health care policy, but only once you do your job and open up the people's government.
We're not going to negotiate with terrorists. Was anybody else thinking that the entire time when he was saying it? Like he was kind of navigating around it. Oh, JD, I love you, dude. Oh, God. He's good at messaging, man. He's very good at speaking. He's very good at... This is what Trump lacks in. Trump is very good at taking a message and simplifying it to the core where, like, for example, make America great again. Who can't get around that? Well, the left can't. We all know that. but it's something that everybody can get around. It's a broad messaging, and it's almost like one of those astrology things that you read, and it's just, you can apply it to like anybody's life. I forgot what it's called. Like it's not astrology. You know what I'm talking about. You apply it anywhere. It's like a fortune cookie. You open it up like, oh my God, it's gonna live a happy life. There's gonna be some bumps in the road. Yeah, you can give it to anybody, and somebody's gonna be able to connect with it. Trump is not very good at explaining very difficult concepts, and I'm not saying he's stupid. There's a lot of things you'd have to know. Again, that's the job of JD, to go out there and take Donald Trump's messaging and be able to package it in a way that meets not just the people that are simpletons, but also the people that are the intellectuals and that have really questions about what's going on here and want the specifics. And look, we're all simple. I'm a simpleton. I like the messaging. If I want something specific, I'll go seek it out. We'll see what's going on here. We have Scott Jennings. We always have to throw in a Scott Jennings clip. And this is kind of going back to the hostage thing really quick before we go back to some other news. But this is what it looks like when you have an engaged, strong American president. He's right here. Shout out to Scott on CNN doing the Lord's work once again.
United States of America. This is what it looks like when you have an engaged, strong American president willing to get involved on the world stage. The President of the United States of America, when he acts like this, when he engages in tough situations, when he puts American prestige in the middle of a situation, we can make things happen. It just takes a strong leader, honestly, to get it done. And so I like it that Democrats are supporting the president on this. Of course, Republicans think President Trump has done a magnificent job. But what that tells me is that this is transcending politics. This whole issue, has been on our minds for 2 years. And I think all Americans, whether you support Trump or you oppose him, or whether you support Netanyahu or you oppose him, or wherever you are on the spectrum, you want it to end. You want peace. You want the hostages to come home. And so for the American president on the world stage to be the singular figure brokering this deal, it makes me feel great as an American. And of course, I'm glad as a Trump supporter that he's getting the credit that he deserves.
Shout out to Scott over there. Like I said, doing the Lord's work, single-handedly keeping CNN afloat. By the way, shout out to everybody over there on Twitter, also known as Elon Musk's X, for watching. We got 22 people over there watching. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. We also have, speaking of strong president, well, Trump's in great health. Like, okay, come on. He could be healthy, but the guy's overweight. Obviously, he's struggling with some things. He's old. He's 79, man. After a scheduled follow-up evaluation on Friday, President Donald Trump's physician said Trump remains in exceptional health. Now, maybe this is exceptional health for his age, but the guy is not in exceptional health, folks. Now, maybe I'm wrong, because the guy works harder than anybody out there. And I'm not I'm being as serious as a heart attack, man. This guy is working at all hours. I don't know how he does it. I mean, this is a specimen that should be studied, the amount of hours this guy puts in, and like no sleep. I mean, how many times have we heard? And no wonder Marco Rubio is just trying to stay alive right now. Marco Rubio has to keep up with Donald Trump, but also be flying to different countries and handling all this stuff at different hours. Marco always has resting bitch face. I don't blame the guy. I really, really don't. We have here, after a scheduled follow-up, he's in exceptional health. Trump, 79, was at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center for about 3 hours and underwent lab tests and preventative health assessments. Trump's doctor, Navy Captain Sean Barbabella, said in a one-page memo the president received a yearly flu shot. And a lot of people were like, what the hell? He got a COVID booster, man. Trump got a COVID booster. He took the jab. His cardiac age, a validated measure of cardiovascular vitality, the ECG, was found to be approximately 14 years younger than his chronological age. He continues to maintain a demanding daily schedule without restriction. Interesting. So Trump's in good health. Back in July, Trump underwent medical testing and received a diagnosis of chronic venous insufficiency. So we'll keep you up to date with all of that stuff. You never know if they're hiding some sort of illness from you, especially what we saw with Joe Biden. But my hope is that, and pray, is that not only Joe Biden stays, he's not in good health, but that nothing bad happens. And obviously my heart goes out to Trump that he stays healthy as well. Now, going with that messaging of a strong president, he's not just metaphorically strong, but he's also physically strong as well. Get our troops paid, Trump says. He won't let military suffer due to Democrat shutdown. This, baby, is what we're talking about. President Trump announced on Saturday that he had found a way to make sure that American service members would be paid in October 15th, which is in 2 days, in spite of the Democrat-driven government shutdown. But remember, I was told Donald Trump doesn't love the troops. I was told the guy hates them. I was told all these things by the media. This is why we don't believe in the media anymore. This is why people go to outlets like mine or like Steven Crowder, the Daily Wire, the Blaze with Glenn Beck, all these other greats, is because they can't trust the media anymore. And I'm not bought by a corporation. I'm not bought by donors. You guys donate your money, and which is always greatly appreciated, by the way. Thank you for always using the website, too. A lot of you have been using that lately. Just got Pat's donation in yesterday. Well, Trump made the announcement via Truth Social, saying that he has directed the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to take steps to ensure that payment immediately. Chuck Schumer recently said, every day gets better during the radical left shutdown. I disagree, Trump began. If nothing is done because of Leader Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, our brave troops will miss the paychecks they are rightfully due on October 15th. This is why I'm using my authority as Commander-in-Chief to direct our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to use all available funds to get our troops paid on October 15th. Trump went on to say that they had already found a workaround and was pushing forward with it. We have identified funds to do this, and Secretary Hegseth will use them to pay our troops. I will not allow the Democrats to hold our military and the entire security of our nation hostage with their dangerous government shutdown. The president concluded that a call for Democrats to vote to reopen the government, saying the radical left Democrats should open the government and then we can work together to address healthcare and many other things that they want to destroy. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So we have that, and shout out to them for doing that. Our troops deserve to get paid. Quite frankly, so does everybody else that's working. It's not just the troops. There's a lot of people that are working with this government shutdown, and it doesn't change from the problem we have. I mean, one of my hopefuls was that Trump would be able to get this debt in line. Brad, it was D Shore's birthday yesterday. She is 29 again. Well, happy birthday, D Shore. 29 again. Love that. In other news here, where was I at here? I wanted to look up something. I lost my train of thought. What was I looking for? Well, we'll see what we got here. Let's see if we got some breaking news. Maybe it'll come back to me. New wave of progressive Democrats vow. Oh, it was about the debt. There we go. We're going to have an issue here, folks. I bring this up because if we don't get this under control, then we got a lot of things to worry about here. Here's we show this all the time. We're at $37.6 trillion in debt. That's $109,000 per citizen in this country. You owe, each one of you individually, including myself, owe $109,000 just for being an American citizen. Now, if you're a taxpayer, you owe $300. You guys remember, just like last year, this was $200,000 something. Remember, I used to say, oh, you owe $280,000 to the government. Folks, you owe $324,000 per taxpayer. That's a lot of money. Now, this is where things are going a big problem. Here's the trajectory of our largest budget items. We pay the most for Medicare, Medicaid at $1.7 trillion. Our Social Security is $2 trillion less than that at 1.5. And then about $500 billion less than that is our defense. So defense is our third largest budget item. But I sort of lied to you because not really. Our third largest budget item is interest at over $1 trillion. So it goes Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, interest on our debt, and then defense. What will happen is interest will surpass Social Security at some point, and then it will surpass Medicare, Medicaid, meaning we will just be paying interest alone on our debt, never actually paying down the principal. That is when you get into some dangerous territory, folks. that is when you have to increase taxes. And we are headed in a very, very scary and bad direction. Very scary stuff. So look at this. U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio, 1960 was 52, 1980s, the Reagan era, 34, 2055, now 124%. This is scary, man. This is some real scary stuff, and it ain't changing. So you can talk about Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security all you want. What are you going to do when you don't get your money anymore? It's just called theft. And if you don't think they'll take your money. Oh boy, will they take it. All righty. Well, speaking of taking your money, it's a little bit of a socialism segue right there for all of you. We got Squad 2.0 meets America's next wave of radical Democrats shaping the party's future. Galvanized by President Donald Trump's sweeping second term agenda, a new generation of progressive Democrats is working to redefine the party's future. The original Squad, a group of young left-wing lawmakers, that's like Rashida Tlaib, AOC, and others, was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 2018 as a referendum on Trump's first term. Now, with Trump back in office and Republicans controlling both the House and the Senate, a new wave of progressive candidates is emerging across the country. Here we go. Zohran Mamdani, which many of you know, is the Democratic primary winner, shocked the political establishment in June and had handily defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo. The New York Assemblyman has centered his campaign around affordability, successfully using social media to build a broad coalition of support among New Yorkers, kind of taking a little bit of what Barack Obama did back in 2008 by taking hold of social media and, unfortunately, utilizing people's ignorance on socialism and the agenda of affordability and thinking that it's going to actually be possible and work, because people love free stuff and they're too stupid to realize nothing's ever free. Somebody has to pay for it. The people that are going to have to pay for it are the wealthy. Well, the wealthy have mobility. The wealthy can get up and move and sell their assets and say, peace out, see you later, figure it out later. And then who ends up getting screwed is the very people that voted in this stuff in the first place, because now they have to fund for the very thing that they think is getting free, but it's no longer free anymore. And when they realize it, well, it's too late. You see that in Chicago, you see that in Seattle, you see that in other places where they love all these free handouts until they're the ones having to pay for it because all the richy wealthy people got the hell out. Well, you also have Omar Fata. This is my city now, kind of like that phrase from Captain Phillips. I'm the captain now. I'm the mayor now. Dubbed the Mamdani of Minneapolis State Senator Omar Fata, I don't know, is running for Minneapolis mayor this year. He's a self-identified Democratic socialist, just like Mamdani was, just like basically Bernie Sanders is. But when you put Democratic in front of the word socialist, it's okay, folks. It's not real socialism. It's Democratic socialism. Gotcha. It's not real. Yeah. And if it doesn't work what they're doing, then what the messaging is going to be is, well, they just didn't try it. They didn't try it hard enough. Yeah, they didn't implement it correctly is what it was. Unbelievable. Somebody else's birthday in here, is it? Is it 123 D Shores? Oh, 123 D Shores. Yeah, it's their birthday. Yep. Happy birthday, by the way. Cat, this is the one I've not heard of. This individual, God, how do you pronounce this name, folks? Look at this. I'm going to put this name in the chat. How do you pronounce this last name? Just say it out loud. Okay? Everybody dry off your tongue, you weirdos. Try to say this, huh? Put this in the chat for all of you. Yeah, Chat GPT, that one. Ghazali. Yeah, some of you give me shit for not being able to say things correctly, huh? Yeah, not so easy now, is it, huh? Not so easy now. Come at me. Well, this individual is a progressive Gen Z candidate running for Illinois 9th Congressional District. Well, there you go. Illinois just still don't have his head on straight. That place is just a disaster. A viral video of an ICE agent shoving this individual to the ground outside the Broadview U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Facility on September 19th has become a flashpoint in the divisive debate over Trump's deportation rollout. Isn't it funny how Barack Obama deported 1.3 million illegal aliens and Trump isn't anywhere near that right now? And they it's just a different circumstance. I'll see if I can pull up that video. It's just a different circumstance when we're dealing with Barack Obama than Donald Trump. So I guess this is a former journalist and activist who frequent protest outside the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois, and recently accused Homeland Security Kristi Noem of perpetrating crimes against humanity. Well, what about the bringing in of thousands of murderers, sex offenders, drug traffickers, illegal aliens, all this stuff? What about bringing them in? Is that not a crime against humanity? The fact that they're leading Americans on levels we've never seen before, bringing in the fentanyl that's also deleting hundreds of thousands of Americans. That's not a crime against humanity either. But you removing criminals, that's a crime, right? You removing people that broke the law, that one's a crime. We live in such an ass backward society. I really don't understand it. You know what would be weird is so with their thinking that it's wrong to remove people with crimes. Does that mean that it's right to remove people that didn't crime or didn't do any crime? I'm trying to follow the logic here. I don't have health insurance and I'm running for Congress. Well, maybe if your ass wasn't out here protesting all the time and got a job or did something to benefit yourself rather than going, well, if you can't afford health insurance, how the hell are you affording this gas mask and this microphone and the shirt and the braids and all that stuff, getting your hair done? How do you afford all that if you don't have health insurance? Don't you think there should be some priorities in your life? At least she doesn't have her nails done. But why would you get your nails done when you know you probably have to scrap and throw tear gas and rocks at police? So how are you getting your hair done? Okay, the highlights, clearly your hair's all dried out, so you get it done a lot because this hair is fried. And you got your eyebrows done. Weird. You got the nice little gas mask all ready to go. It looks like nice. This thing's fresh. Interesting, huh? But can't afford health insurance. It's like AOC that says that she can't afford to pay for her $130,000 Tesla or whatever the hell she has because she has student loan debt. Well, maybe rather than buying a brand new car, you dweeb, maybe pay off the debt that you have. You should probably always pay off those that you owe money to before you go ahead and pay yourself. That's also the problem that people have when they have debt. Sea Dog's in the house. Appreciate you, brother. Since you are working today, sorry it's not more. No, I'm not working today, my friend, and I appreciate that. You don't need to be sorry about anything. No, $10. That's crazy, man. Thank you so much. You guys don't ever have to apologize to me. That is your hard-earned money that's going to this. If it was $1, man, like you're talking to a cheapskate, my friend. You know this, Sea Dog. You've been around for a while. I am blessed to have you guys here. If you guys contributing makes this show able to run smoother than what you think. So I appreciate you, man. Don't ever say you're sorry it's not more. That is more than generous, dude. More than generous. God bless you. Thank you so much. So shout out to Bruce and shout out to Sea Dog for the donations for today. God bless you. And everybody else that donates and is a member and all that other stuff. You guys know how it works. You know, I'm extremely, extremely thankful to the point where I don't even know what to say sometimes. Well, she recently accused Homeland of perpetrating crimes, but she doesn't have health insurance. Why? Why don't you have health insurance? Now, this one I've never heard of either. This individual, a former healthcare community organizer and current Democrat state representative, on Tuesday secured a Democratic nomination for Tennessee's 7th congressional district. Interesting. The Dixon County Democratic Party, described as Ben. Is that how you say that? Ben? They're like the paint company. As our very own AOC of Tennessee referred to squad member AOC, according to the Tennessee Star, her campaign website describes herself as a pissed off social worker who was inspired to run for the House of Representatives after Congress passed Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill earlier this year. I mean, it just goes on and on with these people. Who is this? Mallory McMorrow, finally somebody with a normal name. She announced her bid for U.S. Senate in Michigan earlier this year, framing herself as an outsider and calling for a new generation of leaders in Washington ahead of next year's midterms. She said she would not vote for Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer to continue as the party leader, adding that it is time for him to step back. Well, maybe there's some truth to it. But here we go. She pushed back on allegations from a Republican lawmaker that was grooming and sexualizing children. I'm the biggest threat to hollow, hateful scheme, McCullough said, calling out Republican Senator Lena Thies for invoking her name in a fundraising email. We will not let her win. So, interesting. Now, speaking of some psychos, we have Benny Johnson was receiving a threat. Let me see if I can actually get the article. I have the clip queued up. Received a threat from an individual that wanted to go after him and his family. And Benny Johnson gave praise to the Trump administration for calling out and getting this individual. So here is Benny Johnson. Let me make sure this is Pam Bondi first. And then we'll get to Benny Johnson.
Beautiful, beautiful young family. The author of this letter made it very clear that he hated Benny because of his views, and he wanted Benny dead. This was a coward hiding behind a keyboard who thought he could get away with this. That's why we're standing up here today. You are not going to get away with threatening people in this way. And I'm proud to announce that we have arrested the author of this letter. George Isbell Jr. was taken into custody this morning, and we are charging him federally with mailing threatening communications. It is a crime, and if convicted, he is going to prison. This was incredible teamwork. Benny, beautiful.
I wonder what the time is on that one. Like, how many years in prison do you get? So here's him giving special thanks to everybody for what happened, and we'll see if we get another clip here. He's doing his rounds, and rightfully so. I think this is important for him to make his rounds, is because people need to realize that if you do these types of threats, you are going to go behind bars. And I think you should do like 20 years. If you're going to threaten somebody's life over the internet, and it's clear as day, I think you should do some time. As a message of, don't pull this crap anymore. We're all tired of it. You've already deleted somebody. You assassinated Charlie Kirk. You've tried to go after the ICE agents. You went after ABC Studios. You went after all these people. You went after Donald Trump. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You're going after Tim Pool. You're trying to go after Steven Crowder. Now you're going after Benny Johnson. I mean, when does it end? Really?
I want to talk about what we saw today, the news conference. You had a pretty serious scare. And, of course, this is 1 month after Charlie Kirk was assassinated in Utah. So it hits even harder. This threat was sent to your house, apparently, a letter, some pretty horrific details. And the man that sent the letter allegedly has now been arrested. What can you tell us?
Yes. So an individual threatened my family and myself in graphic detail. This is a left-wing individual who called me a white Christian cis Trump supporter, and that is why he hated me. He described how he wanted to kill me, just like Charlie Kirk was killed. And instead of just ignoring this or throwing it in the trash, I said, you know what? When somebody shows you who they are, we have to believe them. So let's turn it over to the authorities. And I just want to take a moment here to thank God for the Trump administration, for the FBI under Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, who immediately got to work on this letter, who were able to find DNA evidence on it.
Wow.
Within 24 hours, we're able to track down that DNA, who it belonged to. The individual was arrested and then confessed and is in federal prison right now awaiting trial. And so I'm just so thankful to them and Pam Bondi at the DOJ for taking action. I think that it's time that we take these things seriously. The left has shown us who they are, and they are a very, very violent group of people.
Excessively violent of late, as we've seen. I'm glad that they were able to dig those prints up and find the man, and because who knows, you don't know what's he got in his house. That's what we'll figure out next. You know, how many weapons does he have? How serious was he about that? You can't take any chances when it's your family. Benny Johnson, good to see you. Thanks.
Just horrific, man. It's horrific that the guy has to live like that, of people wanting to go after him. Here is him on Fox News. That was Newsmax he was on before. Here's him with Laura Ingraham.
And again, tonight, a martyr.
A martyr. And someone who cared.
Right, that's an old clip. I apologize. That's back in September, talking about Charlie Kirk. Well, there we have it. Let me see if there's any breaking news before we end here, folks. Always appreciate you hanging out with me. Ilhan Omar, well, here, speaking of the endorsements and people running, Ilhan Omar, unsurprisingly, endorses State Senator Omar Fatah of Minneapolis mayor. So that's no shock. There's no shock there. So the squad voting for squad voting for socialist stuff. Typical. So, all righty. Well, I believe that's it, unless I'm missing something here. Give me one moment. See if there's any updates with Egypt. It looks like Trump has, in fact, arrived in Egypt. Oh, let's see. Let's see if we get some breaking news here for all of you.
So many of these terror groups have
just
been
check this out for a bit.
Knocked down. But if there are still some people inside there, that is something that could throw this. But now is the greatest opportunity to do so. And that, I think, is what we hope to hear today in Sharm el-Sheikh. It is looking ahead. It is looking about the ISF. It's about how they can set up the International Stabilization Fund, the money that the Gulf states will give. It's about how the borders will look. It's about the role that other countries will have. So, look, the region is different, but what we're looking at right now is whether or not they can put forward a phase 2 and really figure out how the governance of Gaza will look in the years ahead.
It is interesting because this is happening in Egypt, and so much of the Arab and Muslim world look at Egypt as a country it represents the past, and they're now looking to these new leaders in the Gulf states, the Qatars, the Saudis, the UAEs, as the new leaders of the future. So this is a very interesting moment here for the Muslim and Arab world as well. Let's go live to Steve Harrigan, who is standing by for us in Jerusalem with the latest on the ground there. Hi, Steve.
Aisha, people across the country have been watching the images that they've been really waiting 2 years desperately to see, and that is of reunions of former hostages with their family members. Many of these reunions taking place in hospitals. It was a real...
Before we continue this really quick, folks, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the Westwood One app. I mean, this is for football fanatics, by the way. Are you ready for some primetime football action? Tune into Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave. I've talked a lot about this, especially as somebody that's getting more and more into football. This is from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You're always looking for a streaming service. You're always looking for an app. You're always looking for something you can actually rely on that's accountable. Well, they're accountable for making sure they're getting all the angles for you and streaming in great quality. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app on the Westwood One Sports app on westwoodonesports.com via Westwood One station streams or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One. A shout out to them. They've been a big sponsor of the show. They're always doing great work over there. They're keeping you up to date on what's happening in the NFL, and we support them. They support us. God bless everybody over at Westwood One. At least use the QR code and check that out, folks. Scan it with your phones really quickly, and make sure you download that app right now. That way you're updated on all your sports, specifically the NFL. So shout out to them. God bless them. All right, we're going back to our normal scheduled programming.
And as we wait for President Trump to land in Sharm el-Sheikh, you had an interview this weekend on your new show, Saturday in America, with one of the families waiting for their brother to be released. Let's watch here.
I saw a picture of Roni, and she's kissing her father's picture, and it's on her birthday. And she's 4 years old now. You said that she asked for her father. She asked why he's not at kindergarten?
Yeah, she asked why he doesn't pick her up from kindergarten. She says goodnight to him every night. She knows what happened, Roni, because she was old enough to understand what has happened to her as well. Guns were pointed at her face that day. She was awakened by 5 terrorists surrounding her with guns, with an RPG. She knows bad people took him to Gaza, and she says it to her friends in kindergarten. She knows that she's displaced, not living in where she grew up as a toddler. And she keeps manifesting herself. She's an incredible smart girl, and her father will be so proud of her when he sees her, when he hugs her again.
That was an emotional interview on Saturday, and then watching here, I'll let you talk over it. This is the extended family watching his release. That was a video from the center there. And then when she got to have her first conversation with her husband, we have that photograph as well. And Kaylee, what an interview.
Yeah, that's Lashai you're looking at. Moshe told me the struggle of being a mom to 2, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and being a constant advocate. Lashai has constantly, every day, stood up and advocated for the release of her husband, Omri. Her daughter, her youngest daughter, was just 6 months old when guns were put in her face. They said that in fact, they did not know their father except through pictures, the youngest. When they told Roni on Saturday, hey, your dad may be coming home, she drew him a picture, she made him a shirt, and in that video that you're looking at of her on the phone, she says, Roni and Alma, remember what mommy told you. Daddy's coming soon. Dad's arrived, and we will see him today. Put on your shirts. Put on your shirts. So this is just, what an exciting, joyous moment.
There was a tweet also that his wife put out saying that, thank you, Kaylee, for speaking with my brother. Your prayers and the prayers of your family mean the world to us. My girls were amazed to hear that another little girl they didn't know is praying for their daddy, and it made their day. Never lose hope.
Man.
President Trump talked
Gets you a
also
little teary-eyed.
that spiritual connection that so many people had. In fact, and Jared Kushner on Saturday night at the rally, his remarks were very moving. He doesn't speak publicly too often, but when he did, he said that October 7th brought him to his knees and it made him cry. And here we have President Trump landing in Sharm el-Sheikh for this next stage. But that spiritual connection is something that many Americans had with the Israelis.
Yes, and you heard this mentioned today at the Knesset, that this is what got so many of these Israelis through. They had their bedrock partner in the United States. The prayers from my family echo the prayers of our entire nation, our family here at Fox News, who poured out prayers for these families. And it is a connection, a 4-year-old girl in Israel and a 5-year-old girl here in America praying for her. And together, God made this moment possible, put President Trump in this place in history. And to your point exactly, Dana, I just have to say, you know, you mentioned soft power and hard power. That's exactly it. Those Abraham Accords, those relationships that were built in 2020 when I was in the White House, made the way for this moment and then the hard power at Fordo.
Indeed. And Martha McCallum, we bring back our panel here, and we have President.
All righty. Well, President Trump has arrived in Egypt. He has safely landed, and we'll make sure we bring all the news regarding that tomorrow morning here on the Bald Brad Show. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Again, shout out to everybody that donates, to all the members, to everybody that is a member over at Rumble. We do have Dark Maga tomorrow evening as well at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But in order to enjoy that, you got to come and either be a Rumble Premium member or just be a member to my channel over on Rumble. So like I said, if you want to move your subscription from YouTube, screw them, over to Rumble, then we actually get more of your money that way rather than YouTube taking all of it. Or you can head over to baldbrad.com. Again, we got a lot of new viewers. So matter of fact, let me plug this really quick for all of you. We do have a book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. I wrote it. It is by yours truly. It is not written by AI. There wasn't even AI around when I wrote this damn thing. I wish there was. It'd be a lot easier in terms of doing research. But this is a great book. It is utilizing the metaphor of the Greek Trojan horse entering the city of Troy and destroying it from the inside out. And in the same way, I take that metaphor of the progressive left ideology being infiltrated here in the United States of America and being let loose and destroying the United States of America with that ideology. So I talk to how the anti-police movement is really a blueprint for social chaos. Then we talk about the left's calculated use of race to divide the nation, and then push for socialism, which you're seeing right now disguised as compassion. We want to give you free stuff. We want to allow you to have free bus fare and health care and all this stuff. We need compassion. People need it. You know, all these people are going to lose their health care if Donald Trump gets his way. How indoctrination in schools is reshaping the minds of the next generation, and the role of mainstream media in silencing dissent and spreading propaganda. There's a lot more goodies in there. That's just a little bit of what you're going to discover inside the book. It's a great gift idea. The holiday season's coming up. Sometimes this thing's on sale. There's a Kindle version of it, a hardback and paperback. A lot of you have been buying up and leaving me great reviews on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble. Appreciate all of you. And sometimes I think you can even get it at Walmart, surprisingly. I didn't even know it was in Walmart's, but it is. With that being said, God bless all of you. Thank everybody that donated once again. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for his trip in the Middle East, that maybe we can even get more peace on this as well. And I wasn't able to get to the Pakistan Taliban information, but if you want to know more about that, make sure you head over to my TikTok, and I'll most likely post a video surrounding that update as well. Appreciate all of you. God bless you. Read your Bibles today. Pray, and I'll see you later, Patriots. Take care.